Hello, welcome to Candy's Cupcakes. Today I'm going to show you how to stack a tiered cake. You'll need an iced cake board. So here I've got a black and a gold ribbon trim that's going to go with the theme of this cake. Then you're going to need some edible glue. This is just a pinch of Tylo powder that you can get from most confectionery suppliers with a little bit of water. You'll get the consistency of like glue, but obviously this is edible. In the centre of your cake board, you want to dab a bit of this glue here to stick the bottom cake to your board. Not too much, but just enough. And don't go over too far that you'll be able to see it either. Using a spatula or a sharp knife, gently take your first cake, the biggest one on the bottom, and place it into the centre of your board. You can use your spatula for lowering it down so that you don't create any marks or anything on your nice board. Then next, to cover up this edge that you can see at the bottom, I've cut out the exact size ribbon that will then go around the bottom, like so. Using just regular Pritt stick or glue, you want to just dab a little bit on the overlap part of the ribbon. So you don't want the glue to actually touch the cake because obviously it's not edible. And then just secure that in place at the back, like so. To make sure that all your cake is stable and it isn't all going to sink into each other, the key is to use these. I've got 12-inch plastic dowels that you can get from eBay, any suppliers, Amazon. Then if you mark in the centre and then almost do like a clock face around. Now you want to leave a big enough gap that obviously you're not going to see the dowels once your cake's on top. It's up to you how many you want to actually do on your cake. It depends on the heaviness of the cake in terms of the design and the things you've got on it. This hasn't really got much on it. So I've done one in the centre and then 6 around the outside. And then using the centre one as your guide, poke your stick all the way through the centre. And using a sharp pair of scissors, obviously be careful. If you lie them flat to the cake, obviously don't press down too much. You don't want to ruin your design. And then if you squeeze and then lift it out just so you can create a bit of a mark and then just give it a little bit of a cut. You're not going to be able to cut through it because they're too hard. But as long as you've made a little dint, you should just be able to snap it. You might want to wear gloves or something or hold a kitchen towel over just to protect yourself. And then for the rest of them, you can simply line them up like so. And do the same thing again, or you can obviously push it through the cake for each one, but obviously you don't want to be making too much unnecessary mess. Okay, so now you should have 6 equal parts, and all you're doing is placing each one, so 7, placing each one inside of these holes you've got, and they should all be the same size, roughly. It'll also make sure that your cake's level once it's all stacked. Okay, now going back to your edible glue, it's up to you. You can either add a little bit of fondant on top of each one. I prefer not to, just so that when people are cutting up the cake, they can actually see it's got dowels in them and where they are, and they can remove them before they serve. So if you just add a little bit of your edible glue around each one, and then just a little bit on this in the middle. It doesn't really matter if it's a bit messy because you want it to be as secure as possible, especially if you're transporting the cake or customers trying to transport the cake. They don't want it all falling to pieces on the journey. Then next, if you take your next cake, the next one up. So this is an 8-inch cake with a 6-inch cake on top. And then you want to just place this one on top of that. And again, using your spatula just to lower it down. And make sure it's centre, so you might want to just look over the top just to make sure that it's in the middle all the way around. You got the same gap. And then just repeating the same process, another piece of matching ribbon. So again, this is gold, so it matches the design. Taking your Pritt stick, might want to do that first actually. Just add it onto the very edge. Just make sure you cut your ribbon slightly too long so it does overlap. And then finally you want to just repeat the same process on the top with the top tier. On this one I've only done 5. You might want to do more, like I say, it just depends on the weight of the topper. So you might want to do a few more. Don't put them too close together though, because obviously the cake inside will just turn to mush if there's too many all dotted around very close together. So this will just create like that, you know, so if there's any sinkage, if you've got a fruit cake in there that's quite heavy, it's not going to sink into the one underneath and so forth. Then taking your last cake, again just dab on your glue around each one. And a little bit extra. Some people use royal icing for this, but I find it dries far too quickly by the time you've got your cake on top. But royal icing is just as good. Okay, and then you want to just place your last one on top. Again, just make sure it's in the centre. And your last piece of ribbon. Again, you've added your Pritt stick, stick it on like so, and then with this one, we've been given a beautiful topper that's been handmade. I will say laser cut, and this will just be placed on the top, like so. And that's how you stack a 3-tiered cake. Thank you.